thought I had done a lot of work, but really I've got maybe a third of this stuff taken care of. So we have a long day ahead of us, assuming we can get it all done today. We'll do what we can. So we've been on the bus for a couple hours, making good progress. We have removed the electrical and hoses up to about the front axle. That is a terrible picture. I'm not sure it's going to get better because of the sun. Let's get in the shade. So, as you can see, safety glasses, oh, I have one here, are super important. It's dirty, it falls on you, there's dust and grime and grease and grit everywhere. Wear your safety glasses. Please, keep your peepers clean. Okay, it's afternoon. All the wiring, all the tubing for the Freon is completely removed from underneath the bus. To go over what we did, there's two pumps in the front, one on either side of the oil pan. We removed the tubing from them, and then we removed the rest of the tubing from underneath the bus. And when I say tubing, it's that 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch internal thick-walled hose that the Freon runs through. So those 4 went back, 2 of them branched off and went into the side AC, 2 of them went all the way back into the rear AC. Then we had all the electrical and the conduit flex conduit it runs in. So all of that is removed. Batteries turned back on, and if I'm lucky, the bus will start. Let's listen for it. 2 things before we give this the test. 1, have yourself a person or a resource that you can turn to when you don't know what the next step is, when you're unsure of what you're doing. For me, for mechanical stuff, that was Dan Decker. Fantastic. He knew exactly what I was talking about, told me what I needed to do, didn't do. Fantastic person. The other thing, as you can see, goggles, safety goggles. You have to wear them. I had so much stuff land on my face, still on my face, but it didn't land in the eyes because of those safety goggles. I don't like wearing them as much as anyone else, but they saved. As you can see, I look like a reverse raccoon right now. All right, that's my soapbox. Let's see if this bus starts. All right, so as I was saying, the engine cooling used to be right there, kind of where that garbage can is. We took out all the hose up to this point, and then we put this makeshift U, so it's going to loop back to the engine, and that comes into the cab of the bus at right behind the driver's seat there. Okay. So the job today is we're going to elevate this. I'm going to clamp off the hose coming from the engine, and we're going to drain the fluid, the coolant that's in that hose, into a bucket that we're going to reuse. And then we're going to put that U underneath the bus. And then I have some brackets from when we took off the hoses for the AC. I'm going to reuse those brackets and mount this pretty much permanently underneath the driver's seat. So the only heat that's going to be running when the bus is in motion, from the engine at least, is from right next to that driver's seat. In the hose, and I've placed it in one of the windows. By elevating that hose all the way down, so there's no kinks, no bends, nothing like that. Well, small bends, but you know what I mean. That's going to allow all the coolant from that hose to drain out, because we don't want to put coolant all over the ground. That's just kind of a douchebag thing to do. So that's where the coolant's at. All right, so this right here is the engine coolant line coming from the bus. All right, and it comes up, and right there it tees off, and effectively right underneath this is the driver's seat. That's what's right above us, is that driver's seat. And it comes back down, and then these, oops, sorry for the glare there, are the two lines that come up into the compartment that we were talking about. And that's leading up to where we had cut it and made the U. So that's what we're looking at. So we're going to come back and we're going to cut it somewhere in here. So we're going to get quite a bit of drain coming down. So I got a bucket for that, and then we'll put that coolant back in the engine. And that's what we're working on. Alright, so we're back in the engine. There's the hose running up from the engine, and we just had the bus on. Back into the two smaller hoses that run up right next to the driver's seat. And then that is the U that we made. Now, we actually bought some copper pipes, and they were short. The copper pipes that were already here, there was an L that came up over here and then went up into that hole. They had both of these pipes, and these pipes have maybe got a good 2-inch of pipe past the elbow. So initially I had our elbow, which was right here. So that's what we started out with. That's what we had in the bus, and it worked. But if you're looking at it, there's only maybe a 1/2 inch there for that hose to grip onto. And like I said, these pipes that we put in here that were already existing, they're in good condition. They were a little dirty. We cleaned them up with a wire wheel, and I put them back in there, and they have at least a good 2-inch of metal inside for the clamp to grab onto and for the hose to make that good seal. So I thought it was smarter to reuse what was already there than to go with our solution. So now the next step is, you can see those holes up in here. What I'm going to do is get a metal bandit or something, and we're just going to bandit this whole thing up into place so it stays nice and secure, doesn't rattle around, stuff like that. So that's what we're doing. We did the cooling loop underneath the driver's seat, got that tied up, got it secured to grind or sand out some more little rust spots that were left on the floor, and the chair rail. Did that, pressure washed it out, got it ready to prime again, and the bus won. Sometimes that happens. You just run out of gas, you run out of motivation. It is. So tomorrow we'll hit it again. If we need to sand anything or, prep prior to priming, we'll get that done. That's what we got done for today. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, all the things that YouTube likes. Thank you for watching. Bye.